How's it going? Fox back again for Sound Design Tutorials. Request again today. This one was by a chap called Joe Berry Parish. It was for this UK house sort of donk sound. It's a classic sort of FM sound used since the beginning of EDM pretty much, or since FM's come out. But anyway, it's this track. It's Abstract and Logic, Missing You. There's a link in the description to this track so you can listen to the sound and then compare it to mine. This patch is also available to download for free in the description. So yeah, I'll solo this sound again. This is what we're going to be making. Real classic donk sound. He didn't tell me what synth he wanted me to use, but it needed to be something with FM synthesis. I know Serum's FM capabilities are really basic, but I only needed 2 oscillators to make it, so easy peasy lemon squeezy once again. So yeah, I hope he has Serum. If not, I can do it in FM8 or something else. But yeah, for now we're going to show you how I made it in Serum. So I'm going to initialize this and then talk you through it step by step. As you could see, the first operator, oscillator, I said operator because that's what they're called in FM synthesis, is going to be a sine wave. I'll just show you quickly the MIDI notes. They are played low on F0, G0 and C1 up to D sharp 1. So if you want to recreate this exactly the same, you need to be playing them low on your keyboard. So this one, I kept it on 0, a sine wave. We want to change the random to the start so that the phase of the sine wave always starts at a constant point. This is very, very important when you're doing FM synthesis. You don't want the sine wave to be starting all over the place or you get inconsistencies. So we want the random down to 0. We're going to give it 2 voices unison, detune on about 0.11. The sub oscillator we're going to use, this is going to be a sine wave as well. This is going to be used to create the pure sub. It's going direct out. Volume is going to be controlled by an envelope later on. We'll set it up in a minute. For now, we'll pull it down almost shut, just a tiny little bit of volume. Oscillator B is going to be the modulator. Sine is the carrier wave. The modulator in this instance is going to be a triangle wave in the basic shapes again. So change it to a triangle. This must be an octave higher than the carrier. Simple as that. If you have this one on 1 octave, that needs to be on 2. If this one's on 2, you need that one to be on 3. There needs to be the octave difference or the ratio difference of 1. We're going to have 2 unison voices on this as well. Detune a little bit less than the first one. Volume for this wants to be totally off. We don't want to hear the sound of the triangle wave. We just want to use it to modulate the sine wave. So this whole sound really is just 2 sine waves, one being modulated by a triangle wave and one going direct out as a sub. So as I say, volume of this all the way down. Not doing nothing at the minute. The volume of the sine wave on oscillator A is going to be controlled by an envelope, and so are a few other parameters. So we'll set that up to start with. We want a decay of around about 1 second, which it comes on as standard. We want no sustain. We're going to drag this, drop it on the volume so it goes all the way around to full. So we'll bypass in the amp envelope 1. We're going to make a bitty sort of plucky envelope out of this as well, but we really want a slightly different envelope controlling the volume of this and also the FM when it comes to it. So envelope 1, your main amp envelope, just a basic pluck, 800 milliseconds, no sustain. Envelope 2, slightly longer decay and more of a linear curve rather than an exponential, so like a shark fin triangle shape. So it's now flicking the volume round. We're going to use this to modulate the volume of the sub oscillator as well. We don't want this to go to full, around about 68%. And now for the magic bit, FM from B. So oscillator A is playing. We're going to use the triangle wave an octave higher to FM frequency modulate, or modulate the pitch of this oscillator A. We're going to use an envelope to flick it in, that's how you get the sound. It's just around about 60. It's a bit raspy at the minute, we're going to tame it with a filter. There's a couple of other envelopes we need to use. Envelope 3 we're going to use on that. What does LFO1 does? Effects. So yeah, that's pretty much it. All you need to do now is apply a low pass filter, A and B going into it, but we're not listening to B anyway, so it doesn't matter. So just A. We're going to use a different envelope to control the pluck on this. It's virtually the same as the amp envelope, but with a more linear curve. See, this one's quite exponential in regards to it looks more like a ski ramp than a straight slide. We want 700 milliseconds again on decay, no sustain, between 7 and 8 will do. Just make it a little bit more linear, just a tiny little bit of curve in it. 0.5 seconds of attack, and we don't want it to open fully. We'll do it to here, we'll open it all the way, and then we'll bring the destination amount back till it gets to that classic donkey sound. Boost the resonance. We're going to fatten it up and drive it as well. I forgot to tell you that we want to change the random on this as well to dead zero, and also the phase to dead zero. So we want to be starting at the, what's the word I'm looking for? Zero crossing rather than at the peak. So very important, make sure that you can hear those inconsistencies when the random's on. You never get the same tone, so both the randoms on 0. So that's pretty much the basic patch setup. I should have spoke to you about a bit of processing I've got on the channel. I'll turn these off for now. There is a bit of saturation, compression, and a tiny bit of EQing on there. So the effects now, I added a bit of EQ. All I did was create a bell, boosted about 3 dB with a Q of 40%, about 100 Hz, just accentuating the high lows or low mids. And then I use a hyperdimension. This is a real cool trick. Use a hyperdimension, just flick it in with an envelope, and for that I used a different one again. I'd ran out of envelopes, so I used an LFO. I didn't want an instant attack, I wanted a little bit of a whip into it. Quite an exponential curve going out again. That's the word of the day, I think, exponential. Keep it on a quarter note, set it to an envelope. So it's going to take a quarter note now, or a quarter of a beat for it to complete this envelope cycle. So it's going to flick it open and then close it with a decay time. Drop it on the mix. So I'll A-B this, so without. And with. Not necessary, but it adds a nice metallic edge which these sort of more moderner donks have, if you like. So yeah, that was pretty much it inside Serum. So the bass is real straightforward. I say straightforward, there's a few different envelopes. If you can understand FM synthesis, it's really easy. You're using a triangle to modulate the pitch of the sine wave. So it's just a one oscillator sound with the sub oscillator going direct out. Then all I did to thicken the sound up, I looked at it through an EQ, I turned it on, soloed it, I sort of sweeped it to find the heart of the donk. It was around about sort of 350 Hertz or something like that. And then I boosted it again slightly. Then I set the saturator to about the same sort of area, 350 Hertz. Change it to soft sine and give it 2 dBs again. So I'm really boosting that sort of donkey part with some volume, 2 dBs of volume increase, and then 2 dBs of drive in the same area. So again, I'll A-B these. Just accentuating the donk and then the saturation. Really fizzing it all up and make it sound more modern and more analog, if you like. Bit of compression just to bring it all together at the end. Watch for clipping. And with the drums that I made. There you have it. That is abstract analogic missing you FM bass with Serum. Yep. Nothing too difficult. Didn't take me too long, that. That's it. Peace. Thanks for watching.